All day I'm walking in a dream. I think about you constantly. Just like an ever-flowing stream, your memory haunts me.
I have with me a special guest, Jo Marie Chan. It's my privilege to be able to talk and chat with Jo Marie Chan, my good friend, and our lives have a lot of parallels. So it's going to be an enjoyable interview. Good morning, Jo.
Good morning, Ramon. You know, you're talking about parallelism.
Yeah.
I know this for a fact, that it was Little Richard's Long Tall Sally that sparked your interest in music, wasn't it? That,
Yes.
that you started to play the guitar.
Correct.
But that song was also a very important song in my life.
Really?
Because when I first heard it on radio, it was like a magnet. I was
That's
attracted
true,
to
huh?
it right away.
Yeah.
And although I couldn't play the guitar, I still don't play that guitar as well as you do. And I don't play the piano. But one day I'll show you a picture of myself with one leg up the piano, you know,
Mimicking Little Richard.
mimicking Little Richard, Long Tall Sally. Gonna tell Aunt Mary about Uncle John.
What a coincidence. So that
Yes.
also affected you. It was really a great tune, huh?
1956.
Long Tall Sally.
You know, it was the
1956,
driving beat of Little Richard.
Yeah. Well, Joe, how did you... Were you interested in music from the time you were a little boy?
You know, when I was a little boy in Iloilo, music was flowing in the house all day long.
Because of your mother or your
My
father?
my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, who incidentally came from Cebu,
Oh, I see.
there was music in the house all day. She would play the radio, or then she was also a record collector, which was a hobby that I've continued to have
Yeah.
even up to today.
Yeah. And your mom?
My mom played the piano,
Okay, that's...
still does.
And your dad sang?
My dad, you know, he was first and foremost a businessman.
Of course, yeah.
So that was where he was focused on. But occasionally, while he was taking a shower, he would be taking a shower, I would hear him sing, "Be my love, for no one else."
So he also liked
can
music?
Yes.
Okay.
And one of his favorite songs was, "It's the loveliest
Ah, I
night
know that.
of the year." And
When you are in love.
Yes.
When we were little boys, we used to hear that. Mario Lanza.
Mario Lanza. But
So you
originally,
would sing.
originally it
once
was
in
it was a 1902 song called "Over the Waves."
Oh, really, huh?
Yeah.
1902 song.
So my dad was harmonica player as well in grade school.
So you really have it in
And
your
he
blood.
loved- I think so.
It's in your blood.
Both
in my case,
father- yeah.
my mother really didn't have any musical talent, but my grandmother, on my father's side, used to sing opera.
Is that right?
Yeah, and then my father played very good piano. He was a learned pianist. Buen Camino taught him. He could read, primera vista.
Oh.
But he was a businessman first and foremost. But he would always play piano in the house, and that's how I also absorbed it. There was always music in the house. But my mom encouraged me and bought my first guitar.
Now, I don't know, not too many people know about this, and I don't think that you knew that I knew, but your mother so loved the opera, and as you said, she was an opera singer, that she named...
grandmother.
Your grandmother. That your grandmother named all her children after... how should I say? After after characters in opera. Did you know this?
Okay,
No,
is
no.
this a joke?
No,
No, really?
it's now. Your tita Norma
That's right.
is named after the opera Norma. And Fernando of
I didn't know it. Who told you this? My cousins?
no, the one who told me this was Melanie, who's Melanie De Leon Carlos,
Yes.
Melanie Carlos,
Yes.
who's your first cousin,
Right.
and also it was confirmed by Mert Jacinto,
Really?
who's married to Javier Loinas.
Oscar, Fernando, Jesus,
Norma,
Norma,
and
Elsa.
yeah, they were all named after characters in various
opera?
operas. It's true.
Thank you, Joe. I thought you were joking for a while.
No, it's
Okay.
true.
When did you When did you first start seriously singing? Or when you were a kid? I heard you joined a contest. Or your mom asked you to join a contest, or what? Or your nanny asked you? What?
No one asked me to join a contest.
Oh.
In 1955 it was, or 54, in Iloilo, there was a radio show called Children's Hour,
Yeah.
where young kids would go up and play the piano or recite poetry or sing a cappella, needless to say.
It's like an amateur hour. Parang eskwelahang munti before.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
Okay.
And so I don't know how I came to, how I got to be in that program, but I remember my yaya walking me to the station one Sunday afternoon, and with very little preparation, I sang Frankie Lane's version of Granada. I mean, I've said this in several interviews
That's
before.
amazing.
Granada,
Yeah, I know that.
I've fallen under your spell. It's just that, at
A
that
cappella,
age,
you sang. Okay.
at that age,
And you won.
if you cannot, no, it wasn't a contest.
Okay.
It was just a showcase,
Okay.
and like a variety show. And at that age, if you didn't understand the words that you're singing, you
Yeah.
tend to forget the lyrics.
Okay.
So I didn't finish the song, Ramon. I didn't finish the song at all. I just froze there, and for a while people thought that maybe there was a brownout. All of a sudden there was silence on radio. Huh? And then the host was very kind enough to say, "Okay, thank you very much, and
So-
here's your popsicle."
So that was your first sort of public exposure.
And my most
Okay.
recent, let me tell you about it. 2 days ago, I was in a small town called Pontevedra in Capiz,
Okay.
in the island of Panay. A friend of mine had set up a school there called Step by Step Christian Academy. And it's on its 7th year. So he invited me to go and sing. I was in the plaza, hundreds of people were watching, bright spotlights, and I was singing Beautiful Girl, okay? In the second verse, a mosquito flew right into my mouth. And I stopped singing. The music played on because it was just -1. The music played on. So I excused myself. I said, even your mosquitoes here taste better. I had just, complimented them on the beautiful scenery and the warmth of the people.
So those was the very first and the most recent.
Yeah.
You stopped singing.
Then they asked me more song. I said, let me digest this mosquito first. So I went down the stage.
You know, that happened to me while I was campaigning in Lanao, and I sang a song after my speech, and a bug went in.
Oh, this time it was just a mosquito. A bug is
wasn't a
slightly
bug.
bigger.
It was it was more filling. Anyway, Joe. Okay, you spent your grade school and high school in Iloilo.
Yes, I first went to a Chinese school there called Iloilo Chinese Commercial School,
Yeah.
which has since been changed to Iloilo Central High School.
And then
For
you went-
for high school, I went to a
wait, you also
St. Clements.
DJ'd. You DJ'd in high school. I heard
Yes,
that.
yes.
Where? With the radio station?
I was I must have been 12 or 13 years old. This is how it led to the work. I used to emulate radio announcers. Even as a kid, I used to listen to Bobby Nung on AM radio here in Manila, because with AM,
Bobby
even
Nang.
from Iloilo, you could tune in to DZXL and DZMM and
Yes.
and the other stations.
You could hear it.
Yeah. So I would make believe that I was a DJ. I would play my records on our home phono.
So hilig mo talaga, Joe.
Yes.
Hilig mo talaga.
So I would play and I would give the time check, and I would
Which reminds me, when are you going to DJ in DZRJ?
well,
On a Sunday?
in fact, we were planning on it, to maybe host RJ's 100 all-time favorite songs.
So how long were you in a DJ in Iloilo?
I was a DJ for about 2 years.
2 years?
2 years. This was on Sundays.
On Sundays, huh?
I would sign on at 6 o'clock in the morning with a show called Junior Morning Chirper, JMC,
Okay.
After my initials.
Right. Did you write any songs then yet or not yet?
No.
Not
No,
yet.
no.
So, And then you went to college in Ateneo.
No, first high school, I went to high school in St. Clemens.
Okay.
This is a school that was run by the Redemptorist priests
Okay.
in Iloilo. And in fact, Senator Sergio Mena
okay.
went to St. Clemens.
I see.
This was a school where a lot of the Cebuano boys were sent. It was like a reformatory school, so to speak, because we were all boarders.
Yeah.
The concept or the idea behind that school was they were hoping that they could encourage vocation.
To become priest.
Yeah, so after
Okay.
30 years of its history, I think they only produced 2 or 3 priests, so they decided to shut it down. No, but it was a good school, I tell you, Ramon.
I can't imagine Serge becoming a priest.
Joe Concepcion, Joe
there.
Con also went to Iloilo for.
I
Went to St. Clemens.
Okay. So you went to Manila after high school?
I came to Manila for college. I went to. I don't know if you've heard of the school, Ateneo de Manila. Have you heard of that school?
Is that the
it's
one in Loyola Heights?
Near there, yeah.
Near there. Okay. So, when did you start writing a serious song? Were you already in 19ers
No.
when you wrote a song, or before?
No. I started writing songs when I was 13.
13.
You know
okay.
who influenced me? If you know your music history, as though it's as serious as that.
Yeah.
If you knew your music history, you would know that 30s, 40s, and even 50s, all the singers were singing songs that were written for them by songwriters like Hoagie Carmichael, Irving Berlin, okay,
Cole
Porter, yes. But it wasn't until guys like Paul Anka and Teddy Randazzo and Neil Sedaka, who were singer-songwriters. And it was that group of singers in 1950.
Carole King.
But Carole King came much later on.
Okay.
But it was Paul Anka, Neil Sedaka, Teddy Randazzo, that, Little Richard also wrote his own songs, that inspired me to write my own music.
So you were first a singer and then a songwriter?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was the other way around.
And, as a singer, I have to admit that, I'm not a great singer. My voice...
Joe,
No.
don't put yourself down like that, because, when you sing, people listen, and that's what counts. You know why? Look at Frank Sinatra. His range is not that great. The range of his voice is not that great. Ray Charles. But you sing from the heart. That's what's important.
I guess it's the combination of...
Your style is
it's the
important.
expression.
The style, the expression, and singing from the heart. You, in my opinion, you sing very well.
Thank you, Ramon. Thank you.
Okay. No,
Thank
really.
you.
Okay. What was the first song you wrote?
First song that I ever wrote was "I Want You." You've never heard of it
When you were 13 years
because it wasn't
Okay.
good enough. I'm sure that the first song that you composed, you would, if you listen to it now, you would conclude that it's derivative, right? Because that's really how you start. Even architects, when they make their first design,
I see.
people will say, "Oh, you just copied this from somebody else."
Can you sing it?
I want you. Oh, I need you.
Something like Paul Anka.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. Okay.
One time I approached a music professor. This was when I was about 14, and he said, "Well, I heard that you compose songs." I said, "Yes." I was very proud. So I made him hear one of my songs, and he said, "Well, your song sounds both new and beautiful." So I felt good. He says, "Unfortunately, the part that's beautiful is not new, and the part that's new is not beautiful."
What?
So it meant that I merely copied parts of the song from other songs.
But your first song that we know of is Afterglow.
Yes, that was my first.
It's my favorite.
45.
It's my favorite.
You've said that, and you're very kind. You know, Ramon. I'm really grateful because you continue to play my songs on your station, and
Well, I like them.
Thank
and
you.
And I won't play them unless I like them.
Thank you very much.